Warning. This is my own personal opinion. If you don't agree with my opinion, that's completely fine. There's no need to throw any negative opinions at me just because I have different opinion than yours. We all have their own opinions, and that's completely fine. Hi there. My last video got barely any views for some reason. How dare you? So today I'm gonna review a set that I actually really like. And Prince of Persia set. Well, because unlike what other people think, I think the movie was pretty cool. The idea of the time traveling with a blade and being based on a video game, it's something that definitely sounds very interesting. I mean, we have nowadays better movies like Sonic the Hedgehog movie, maybe even Detective Pikachu. I don't know. I don't really like Pokemon, no offense. And there's upcoming Mario movie, which looks pretty good. Bowser looking kinda. Alright, never mind. So yeah, today I'm reviewing the set number 7570, Ostrich Race, American Boxer even. I'm gonna start with the minifigures. Starting off with the main character, Dastan. I don't know much about Dastan. I only know that he has a time traveling blade that he got. Definitely remember him more from the movie, and the character itself is honestly one of the cooler looking characters. The 2010's LEGO art style definitely was kinda wonky. The characters just look very off model, very, again, like I said, they look very wonky. But this guy looks honestly pretty well done. I really like the face. He definitely has that sort of woo face. I don't like woos, but this is the woo face that I like, because it looks very charming. It kind of looks like that Indiana Jones character from the first Indiana Jones video game that's supposed to be the guy that young Indy meets. Like sort of the same kind of face, but I mean not exactly, not the same like in the games, and the other and the angry face, which definitely looks like something out of 2010s. Definitely that has that wonky kind of cartoony style, you know. The 2010s were kind of like the last years of the 2000s Lego style. You know, how kind of looking a bit more bizarre, in my opinion, more unique looking. But that's my own opinion. No one probably cares about minifigures unlike me. And the torso also is very detailed. I mean, it's very blurry for some reason. Like the face is 4K and the torso is like 144p. Very off. And the legs themselves are just the same as every single other Dastan minifigure, so there's nothing special about it. The torso that itself also isn't unique. It's something from the 2009 Indiana Jones. Remember that a lot of characters from this set definitely has pre-existing face prints, at least one on a minifigure. And that torso is very useful to create some pretty funny minifigures. Yeah, other than that, there's really nothing much. There's like no back printing because it was the 2010s. Some characters do have back printing, but not all of them. This guy probably they didn't even bother because it was back in the day only the most important parts, like continuation of some patterns or jacket kind of poking out, so I also will poke out on the back. And then the only parts they will decide to keep the back printing instead of nowadays when every single tiny little detail is shown on the back, like some lines, some cleavage, some creases, and stuff like that. Alright, next character. Well, this character isn't much of an actual character. It's just some guy named Ostrich Jockey. Ostrich Jockey. The minifigure itself, in my opinion, is not unique. The face was already used in the other LEGO Prince of Persia sets, as well as the torso, which was used for two characters in one set. Just kind of hilarious, because the other character is just some golden guard. If for some reason he uses generic Arabian torso printing. But you don't even see it because it's the same generic castle armor piece that we still have to this day, because LEGO doesn't want to do any other new armor piece for the knights for some reason, because lazy. Again, like I said, only important parts being shown on the back of the on the back of the minifigures. There's some shirt poking out, some clasps, I think. Yeah, other than that, the character is pretty cool, really interesting, but nothing really special. I definitely like Prince of Persia sets, definitely for having some background characters kind of just be in the set for a bit of Arabian feel, if you know what I mean. And the last character is someone called Sheikh Amar.
Now, I crafted our lurid reputation in order to fend off the most insidious evil that's been lurking this forsaken country of ours. You know what I'm talking about? Taxes.
Which is someone that, from I remember, Dastan knew, and then they was betrayed by him because he wanted to earn money from him to their guards, even though in reality he was innocent. But that's kind of a spoiler for the movie. And the character itself is really cool looking. I mean, the torso in itself is very impressive. It has literal JPEGs or PNGs on the torso, on the front and the back. It's something you definitely don't see nowadays, probably because it kind of looks crappy, according to some people. I mean, to me, it's honestly impressive that they even could do that. Back in the day, LEGO was like really into a lot of detail. And especially this minifigure was like one of the last ones, or maybe even one of the only minifigures, because the only one I remember was Speed Racer, which that set was like, that one of the sets back in the day was like very infamous for having very ugly printing. I think that's a bit of a over exaggeration. Like, Snake Oiler's torso wasn't really that bad. I think the only negative that I have for my part is just that the lighter shades of the black jacket just look weird, and that's about it. But yeah, the torso on this Shaikh Amar, it's so impressive. Like, it honestly reminds me of those fan printed tiles that I bought online. Like, it has that same kind of quality. I mean, not exactly the same quality of material, because these are like fake printed on. But this guy again is like almost the same detail, and it's honestly impressive. The face itself, I still think it's not even original. Like, am I the only who thinks that this guy's face was something that was reused for the 2009 Star Wars set? Like, it has like the same kind of expressions, one smiling and one being that cartoony frown, or whatever that is called. Minifigures are honestly one of the highlights, in my opinion, for the set. I just really like the detail on some of them. Something you don't see nowadays, which kind of makes me like old LEGO more. Now it's time for the build itself, which build itself isn't exactly much of a build. It's kind of like three random parts stuck together, and then also for some includes the only time LEGO made ostriches, which is honestly kind of funny to think about it. Like, back in the day, LEGO was barely doing any molds. For some reason, only in 2010s, LEGO did both these things people ride on the desert. I forgot how they called it in English. And ostriches. Like, this is the only set in that LEGO ever made minifigure-sized ostriches, which is so hilarious to think about it. Prince of Persia, out of probably without those exclusive animal pieces, probably wouldn't even be much of something people would talk about. The ostriches themselves are also kind of impressive. Like, they use a couple of different molds, like mold for the skin and black for the feathers. And the head itself is also removable, and it's made of the hard rubber, which isn't exactly very high quality. Like, you can see one of them having a bit of scuffed printing, because when I checked, it turns out that the printing on the eyes is actually very fragile. So, warning for anyone who wants to buy this set, you should be careful with the printing on the ostriches' heads, because they can get very easily scratched by just a few scratches with your fingernail, no matter how short or how long it is. If you even cut your fingernails, please tell me you cut your fingernails in the comments below. Also, there's this Podium, which this guy is supposed to go on. It's not really much special. It does have this tiny cone piece, which from what I see in the instructions, you're supposed to put this whip here. I don't exactly know why. I guess for some kind of weapon storage, which is also kind of hilarious, because the other small build is this weapon storage, with one clip being free, also for the whip to go in. Which is hilarious to have like two mini builds in the same set that both have the whip go there. Like, it feels like a bit of overdone, I guess, because LEGO was kind of rushing the set. Designing a set takes a long time.
I will eat your children!
So I guess they kind of were rushing and accidentally made two builds that have the same idea of storing the weapon. And also you get the iconic scorpions that LEGO still uses to this day. And also additional snake, I guess, to make the set a bit more playable. Which is kind of funny, because then there's this whole build in which ostriches go in. Because this entire set also is considered very goofy, actually. Because one reason. This is a set about racing on ostriches. Like, yes, you heard me right. In this movie, the characters at one point raced one another with ostriches. Like, no horses, no dogs, nothing. Ostriches. And this build is also something to recreate this kind of style of racing. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, the build is honestly really impressive that they can pull that off. I don't think even nowadays they really do that. I mean, probably because these arm pieces are extremely fragile, as over time they're just gonna break. So I'd say if you like build this set, I honestly don't think it's a good idea to try and make alternate builds with some of those pieces, because they just end up eventually breaking. But again, the deal is honestly pretty impressive. I definitely like these walls that I already shown a few times. It's something that kind of gives off the modern Lego for adults kind of style, when they try to use kind of clever building techniques to make the sets a bit more, you know, worth buying. Even though they're kind of overpriced nowadays, but some of them seems to be justified. But yeah, this is the whole set. I'm also gonna review the instructions and book, because I like reviewing this kind of stuff since the instructions themselves are kind of big actually. Usually with the 2000s Lego sets, the instructions are very thin, probably because they don't necessarily use a lot of pieces. But this one, for being 2010 set, definitely has a bit more instructions, and also has some nice sand background. Something that I really miss about Lego, that back in the day they had very high standards for the instructions, so it wasn't just like a single gray, or it wasn't just a flat gray or flat blue for the background. It was actually some other colors and like an actual background that actually, you know, gave the instructions a bit more life, you know, it's not just you build it. Also back in the day, of course, the black wasn't highlighted like nowadays the white line art. I still think it looks better. Some people would say that it kind of makes it hard to see, and you know, makes you kind of mix between, if it's dark, is there some kind of new darker shade of gray or some, for some reason. I don't know what kind of person will think of it like that. But I still prefer when it wasn't, when they did black in a different way instead of just making a white line art, because this makes the instructions look ugly. Like the characters I have, for example, have black molded pieces, and then there's some kind of other color on it. Then just the entire thing is white. It has a white line art, and it just looks so bad. Like, isn't Lego like rich nowadays? Whatever. Then there's also a photo of the set, and then the advertisements for the other set. I definitely like all of them, because they are something pretty unique. Like I said, the Ostrich race, and even the race, whatever this thing is called, which is for the spoiler for the final scene, the good old advertisement for the Lego Club, featuring the original version of Lego Max. Which, in my opinion, I really wish if you got a minifigure version of that guy. You all probably gonna say how it looks uncanny and ugly because it looks like a different art style, but that was also the charm of old Lego. A lot of films had like unique art styles instead of just everything being drawn in a single art style, because apparently that's a better way to show diversity instead of just show how everyone is different from one another. That's like everyone has like different ideals and stuff. But the same reason why more adult cartoons always have the same singular Family Guy looking art style, because if it was something different, then we will like be too afraid to watch it for some reason. I don't know why. Nothing wrong with different art styles. But yeah, then there's also the box. Back in the day, minifigures were kind of a bit more shown to do stuff. It wasn't just like one character sitting on the front and to show as a scale. There was some people actually posing and stuff. And even have a small picture for the Scorpion. That's kind of adorable. And then of course, back on the box, for some reason Lego really like to show that, oh my god, look, the minifigures can switch their faces by twisting the head. Unlike nowadays, when it's more rare to see a minifigure without a secondary face. Then on the bottom we actually have an additional, a bit bigger version of the Dustin character on the cover art, which is kind of interesting. And then here on the side have an advertisement for joining the Lego Club. Rest in peace. And yeah, that's the whole set. The minifigures, in my opinion, are actually a pretty good highlight. The characters themselves are very unique. Like I said, the one of them having very interesting printing on the torso, the other character kind of just being a mesh of pre-existing torso and face printing, and the one of the characters having a useful torso for stuff like making a buff characters. Definitely one of the better looking buff torsos than we have nowadays, when there's like even less printing, because I guess to look more cartoony. I definitely prefer back in the day when Lego had more detail on their printing and stuff, just nowadays. And it doesn't mean that I don't like modern Lego. I think there are some minifigures nowadays that I really like. Here's the examples. But overall, I just like 2000s Lego for being a bit more a bit more unique. I mean, there was more originality than nowadays. Most of the time, just being a license, Star Wars, Marvel, and occasional Ninjago wannabe like Monkey Kid and Nexonites, and that's about it. These Ninjago is kind of over. Oh god damn it! They're gonna continue. So yeah, overall, I think the set is good. I give it like 8 out of 10. The ostrich, muscles, and the goofy looking PNG torso printing out of 10. It's, in my opinion, one of the sets actually worth getting, especially how goofy it is, because it's the ostriches. It's the ostrich freaking race. You race with ostriches, and ostriches are exclusive to this one set. So I guess they all have been captured and used for racing. Alright, goodbye.
Subscribe on.
I will eat your children!
Oh my god! Wow!